Welcome back, everybody, to The Truth About Addiction. Boy, am I excited for you to hear this episode. And I'm not going to give that much away. Here's what I want you to know. I have been obsessed with Selling Sunset. Yes, the massive hit reality TV show on Netflix since the beginning. Okay. And I had the honor and privilege of interviewing Mary Bonnet, one of the stars of that show, at my most recent Heart Conscious Creators event. And this is the interview. And I give this lengthy introduction about how I met her and who she is. So I'm going to save everything for the interview and just leave you with this will take you by surprise. This will, I hope, move you from any possibility of judgment into compassion and curiosity, and just have it be a really friendly reminder that at the end of the day, it is not the fame or the money or the accolades that move the needle of our lives in the direction we're all desperately seeking. It is how much love, connection, belonging, and joy we have that matters the most. Enjoy the interview, share it with a friend, like and subscribe. And please, as always, if you'd like to connect with me more deeply, go to the show notes and book a free discovery call. See you guys soon.
But perfection's just a game of make-believe. Hey, gotta break the pattern, find a new reprieve.
So I'm going to share a slightly embarrassing story about the first time I met this woman who's about to come onto the stage. I am not a person who gets starstruck, but there's been a time or two where I've acted a fool. This was one of those times. Okay. I was in West Hollywood minding my business and got in my car to head back to the burbs here where I dragged you fine folks to. And I saw this striking blonde woman walk past my car who didn't know me at all, but who I had seen on television and who I shared a makeup artist with. Our makeup artist thought we would be friends if we ever got a chance to meet. So it felt like I might have known her, but I didn't. And I opened the door and I said, "Mary!" And she was like so awkward, right? Because how many times does that happen? And so I could be just a very scary fangirl about to do something crazy. And I did what I did. It was embarrassing. I love you on the show. You're such a truth teller. You're so authentic. You have the same makeup artist. Fun fact. I don't know how we got to talking about books. It was last year when my book was coming out, and she said, "I have a book coming out." "Oh, what's your book about?" So we exchange. And then we had this moment of what was the underbelly of the writing of the book. The loss of my sister and an acknowledgement of this very deep struggle that happens in the dark that we don't see and hear about sometimes until it's too late. And she got it. And I didn't see her again until her book launch, which happened last year, a few months after mine. And she just gave me a look like, "Hi, I remember you," that kind of a thing. And lo and behold, here we are at the Canyon Club. And through one degree of connection and a little bit of fate and destiny, she said yes to coming here and letting me interview her. Not in the typical way that she probably gets interviewed. I don't think this woman needs an introduction, but she is a major star of one of the biggest reality TV shows on Netflix. It just finished filming its 9th season. She has written an incredible memoir that we're going to dive into. She is a top producing real estate agent. She is a mother. She is a spiritual warrior. And I'm pretty sure after tonight, I will officially be able to call her a friend. Mary Bonnet, please come to the stage. I cannot wait to talk to you. Thank you. Hello. Good Lord, give it up for this woman again. Oh my goodness.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Yes.
Hello, guys.
Hey, fellow redhead.
I know, right? I'm like twinning. I'm like
moment.
single white female over here.
The copper is in the building.
Yeah.
Mic moment. Hi, Mary.
Hello.
Hi. Do you remember that moment?
I do very well. I was just saying that to Derek when I was like, you were like, Mary,
As if I knew you.
yeah, but it happens all the time. So then I'm like, hi, and I'm trying to like rack my brain. I'm like, do I know you? Do you know me from the show? So, but normally I remember faces, not so much names, but I remember faces.
Yeah.
And I didn't remember your face.
Hopefully now you will.
I remember your face though very well. Yes, I do.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I am sure, and we're on the heels of season 9 just ending, right? So there's probably an interview frenzy, an article frenzy, and I could ask you all the things, okay, about the show and the drama and the relationships, but I'm not interested in that.
Good.
What I do want to know is, what is the greatest spiritual lesson that you have learned from season 9?
So I think that looking back on it, we all live in the moment, right? And we're just living our lives, and we're not aware of how things come off. We're not aware of what's said, like how that can be taken different ways, like stuff like that. And so I think it's been very eye-opening. And normally I'm extremely aware. I'm an empath, and I take time before I speak. I get made fun of for it, where I'm like, and I'm like, think it through. Don't speak before you think about it. And and I think looking back on it, and obviously we're reality TV. Everything is chopped up, and there's so much more to the stories. But I think looking back on it, I think it's been a very big learning lesson for me, and to stay true to myself, because I know who I am. I know what happened, and I'm the biggest advocate of support other people, build people up, do not tear them down. And I think that this has been a test for me, like to not try to not let it, like everything bother me, to try to not let like lash back and forth and stuff like that. It's like, no, just stay true to yourself. It's been hard, and I've gone to spiritual gurus and everything like that to help learn how to center myself and ground and moments of like panic and weakness and stuff, because I'm a very emotional person. I have severe ADHD, and and so I mean it makes things, part of it is being an empath, and part of it is being extremely emotional. So I don't want those emotions to affect other people. I don't. Yeah.
Do you feel like do you guys are get privy to watching it before it goes out to the public to see the way in which they chopped it up and are presenting you, or does it just get dropped on you?
We get to see it a week before. So sometimes press gets to see it before we do. But they let us see it about a week before, and we have no control over anything. I think this is the first season where I was like, I'm sorry, what? This is the what? But I was like, wait. But because I feel like everyone's always very true to themselves, like on this show. Maybe you don't see the full story, but
Right.
it's you're very true to yourself, like every cast member. I think this time there were a lot of people like that. It was just such a crazy season.
Yeah.
Like in so many ways. So you can't put everything in. Like the reunion, for example, was 13 hours of filming.
Oh my God.
And it was less than 30 minutes. 13 hours of filming.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like, I mean, there's so much that happens and yeah, it's life.
So I don't know if I'm hearing you correctly, but I want to just sort of say back what I'm hearing, which is you end season 9, you see the way that you've been portrayed, as well as everybody else, but we're here to talk about you.
Yeah.
And it's blindsiding.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And it's testing who the world thinks that you are.
Yep.
Maybe who you think that you are.
Yeah.
And you're now speaking to it as a type of test of, I could fall into flipping out, reacting, going off about the way this is coming across or not.
Right.
Is that
That's exactly it. Yeah.
okay?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
So can you tell me then what are the, I mean, you said spiritual healer, but what are some of the things that you've had to do being under such public scrutiny, especially with a season that is baked in drama and chaos? They're trying to pin you guys against each other, make everybody look crazy. What are you having to do and level up with in your spiritual regimen, wellness routine in order to go, wait a second,
Yeah.
like no matter who the world thinks I am right now, how can I remember who I actually am?
Yeah. I've done a bunch of different things. Right before the season came out, after I watched the show, I stopped drinking completely.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Well, I mean, now it's been like 2.5 months. I was like completely stopped, and now on occasion I'll have one or something. But I started realizing I was drinking too much. I was coping with the stress of the show, and once I started really looking back and thinking about it, I was like, when was the last day that I didn't have one drink? Because on the show, they force feed you like drinks. You're always going to events. You're always going to something. You get home and you're like, wait, I need to unwind now. I need a glass of wine.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, and I started thinking about it. I'm like, this is not good. It's not healthy. It's not serving me anymore. So now on special occasions like Thanksgiving, I had like a glass of wine, but I'm really being mindful of it because it's so easy, and it's not. It became nothing bad happened, but it wasn't a healthy choice as much as I was drinking. So, I had to really look at myself and really look at how I can't control what production does, how they edit, but I can control how I move forward. And so, with that. There's a lot. Social media has never been my friend, and because I'm old school. I'm 45, and I'm just like, okay, like I don't care. I'm not a scroller. I'll post. It's like, you know, it's a business. You use it for business, but I've taken a backstage to it, and I allow somebody else to control it, and then they send me stuff because I'm like, my feelings get hurt. I'm like, I know things aren't true, and there's a lot of that's out there, and I'm like, I have to remember who I am, and I always preach, lead by example, and stuff like that. And so I'm like, I'm going to try to do that. I'm not going to tear anybody else down to make myself look better. I'm like, if people are going to believe what they want, and hopefully, eventually, they'll see the truth.
Okay, so are we understanding the level
Sorry, my ADD guys.
of how I'm wanting them to no, that made sense, Mary, but she decided to cut back on drinking, right? She was using something as more of a numbing technique. It wasn't a full-blown addiction like what I shared in my story, right? But she's looking around the landscape of her life and going, where can I cut back on something that's making me lose power over, myself or my feelings, my ability to respond rather than react?
Yeah.
She's just grounding herself. She's going to people with more wisdom. She's backing away from social media. We're talking about a reality TV star going, I'm going to step away from, right? It feels like you could imagine from the entertainment industry that being like the death of, right? What are you thinking, right? But there's ways around that, right? You got other people to step in. I'm going to approve what gets put up, but I am not going to engage because it is not good for my mental health.
No, it's not. It's detrimental.
Exactly.
Because it's very, very difficult to follow your own advice. But I'm like, I mean, I'm a hypocrite. If I say no, don't lash out, don't put people down. I'm like, well, if I went back to some of the lies that are out there, well, that is putting people down.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting back and I'm like, I am who I've been for 8 seasons, and that's hopefully people see it. If they don't, I still know who I am. So I mean, I have to just believe that. But and I say it. It has not been easy. Like I have many, many days where I just start bawling. I'm like, to my core, this is not me. But I think that's what we need, though. We need positive people, like where you don't just say things. Yeah, it's easy for me to be like, oh, here, this is actually what happened, da 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 da. And I could prove a lot of things. Is it going to help anybody? No. Right. I mean, right now I look like a bad guy, but it'll pass. Everything passes. So if I speak those words, I have to live it.
Yeah.
See.
And you and I both wrote books, which is so cool. So I would love to know the driving force behind why you wrote the book, and also just where are you now that it's been out for a while, and the level of vulnerability and transparency that you shared with, is a testament to who you actually are. So the world can think whatever they want to think, but then they can read your actual story and hear it from your mouth and get to know your heart. So I just would love to know how that started
How
for
it came
you.
about.
Yeah.
So it came about because a couple different things. When I would share some like hardships on the show, I would have so many people reach out and say how much I helped them, like with the miscarriage, with having like teenage pregnancy, stuff like that. It's like people would reach out to me, and I had so many heartfelt messages like that. I realized that me sharing my story really was helping people. So I got approached about the book, and then there were a lot of things I never told on the show, and there were some editing things like where it looked like I was freaking out about some things that wasn't. I was like, no, it was because I had PTSD because I was raped. I was like, I wasn't freaking out because the girls are like too much for me. I was like, I can't go there, like, and because it was a trigger, and but so I decided, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and share this because there were so many stories. I've had a lot that's happened in my life, and I figured I can't change what's happened. I've had good things, I've learned lessons. I've had bad things, learned lessons, and so if I can share my story, maybe I can turn some of those negatives into a positive.
And I don't know if this was your experience, but I shared a little bit about this. Everybody in the wake of writing was saying things like, oh, isn't it so cathartic?
Right? Oh my God! Everybody said, was it torture? Did it like
Torture? Can we all? And I would just say, it was, but it was also deeply confronting.
Oh,
If you're gonna write about your hardest things, you're not just reliving the trauma, you're processing it, you're making new meaning of it so you can extract and share it with the reader. You're going all the way, you're going back into the pain, and then you're pulling out every lesson. So it's not just this, like the diary entry. It's fucking excruciating.
oh, it is brutal. And then you go out and you promote the book. So then you're talking about all of the traumatic things over and over and over, and you don't realize it. I'm 45. You live 45 years of your life, and so many things, so, so many things have happened. But then when you start realizing about this, about this, about this, about this, and you're like, just over and over, and you don't have time to, you feel it out through writing the book, I think, but doing the interviews, I think you just become numb because you're talking about it, you're explaining it, you're trying to tell people, and you're just like hit over and over and over with all the things that have happened. And then after the whole book tour, I went home and I was like, I went into like a depression. It took me back so many steps, even because with the rape and everything, I had to go back to therapy, redo EMDR because it, like, when you're reliving it over and over again, to tell the story. Yeah. But it's worth it. I would never change it, but because I hope it really does help other people. That was the point of doing it. And yeah, I got good responses, and people said thank you for doing it. So hopefully.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I think first of all, storytelling is a tale as old as time, right? Like, we used to sit around campfires, our ancestors used to tell stories, and this is the way that we connected. We're hardwired for storytelling. And so I think if we can be brave enough in this type of age when everything is so overly exposed, to share our story, if we're able to come from as healed of a place as we can when we're writing, then I think it's a great act of courage and vulnerability.
And I truly think that it does help. It might be hard to do it, but it helps other people have the strength and the courage to be able to open up as well. It takes the shame away from things.
Exactly. I always say in recovery, there's this saying about the 12 steps that resentment is the number one offender. And I disagree. I mean, resentment is a heavy burden to bear, and I don't wish for any of us to be carrying that burden on our backs. But I do think that shame is the number one offender. I think it is the thing that kills our spirit the fastest. Yeah. And being able to speak to our hardest things that we once carried deep shame over literally gives people permission to feel less ashamed, less alone, and more connected. Yeah. And I think even in the face of having to confront all of it again, getting that part also adds new meaning, right? Because there's a lot of stuff about trauma where trauma isn't actually the thing that happened to you, it's the meaning you made of what happened to you. Right. So when you start sharing it from a more healed place, and you get people reaching out to you and saying, thank you so much. Yeah. I feel less alone. I feel less afraid. I feel less ashamed. All of a sudden, your trauma has a completely different meaning and purpose.
And a purpose, I think, because things happen that you can't control it. You can't change it. But it now has a purpose, and it's a positive thing that is spreading hope and light and something like that. And that's that part of the reason why I named Selling Sunshine, because I'm like, find the light in anything. Like, you don't have to keep everything in negative. There's a way to find the light in anything and just keep moving forward.
Okay, so speaking about finding light and spirituality, right? Because there was a time when I marketed this event as deeply rooted in spirituality, which, by the way, it still is. But it's easier to say wellness because everyone can get down with wellness, right? Outside of real estate, when we think about something deeper, baked in meaning and passion and purpose, I would love to know something that sets your soul on fire, something that is a long-term, or maybe not, vision that you have for your life, for your career that is completely unrelated to real estate.
That is an easy one for me. I love to travel, and I've fallen in love with Bali. If anybody has not gone there, it is maybe the most spiritual, magical place on earth. And every time, like when I feel overwhelmed, I go there. It's a very long flight, but it's so cheap when you get there. And it is I can't even explain it. The energy there just heals you. It's very healing. And I go there every time I get super, super stressed out. I go by day 2, I'm like, I get it. I can handle this. Okay. I've got control now. Like, and it's just, there's this healing quality there, and everybody is so nice. It's a Hindu country. Everyone believes in karma. People are genuinely nice to you, and they want to help because because it is just the most beautiful, non-pretentious country. And I have just madly fallen in love. My sister is my best friend, and she has her own story. I didn't put it in my book because that's her story to tell. But she has been through a very, very hard road, which I was also dealing with when I'm filming Selling Sunset on some. So when I act super crazy sometimes and crying, there's other things going on in my life. But
That was the thing.
that was one.
Lynette did over
Yeah.
when I had my crazy fangirl car moment and I screamed Mary's name.
Yeah.
That was a moment about our siblings.
Yeah. And so she's been, I think she's 4 years sober now. But she went through a crazy situation, and and yeah, so she is now devoted her life to like she found hot yoga when she was in rehab, and she found yoga, and she started doing. She's a teacher for hot yoga now, and it grounds her. It gives her a purpose, and we're both trying to think about what we want to do to share like this positivity and light and women empowerment, because if anybody's watched the show lately, it's not too much women empowerment anymore, but but I'm trying to get it back there. And so we want to do a wellness retreat out there, because she'll do the yoga and do like spiritual healing and like life coach and chakra and all these different things, and have a place where people can go and choose happiness, because it is hard in the life that we live in, and just society right now is like there's so much negativity coming at us all the time. It's a conscious choice to choose happiness, and to not fall into the easy step of like lashing back, saying something negative, doing something like that. No, kill them with kindness. And I think that that's something that it's my dream to do with her, and I can do it on the side. Bali is killing it. I know I'm going to bring real estate back into it, but it's developing like crazy. So real estate is good. It's a lot cheaper there, but I would love to get a place over there and have a place for people to go to heal. Yeah, to go heal, because I know it's every season it's healed me to go back and do it again. But yeah, it's a magical,
gorgeous dream.
yeah.
I've never been to Bali, but I really want to go.
Well, she has a yoga retreat in March, so you should come out
Oh
there.
my God.
It's amazing. It's where I stay every time. Hidden Hills Villas. It's gorgeous in Uluwatu. Phenomenal.
I think
do
you
the
need your
information
sister too,
Yeah.
because
You do.
I always joke about yoga. Yoga is the boyfriend that was good for me that I was never ready to date.
Oh yeah.
And now we're married, obsessed.
Yeah.
And it also took me,
I'm casually dating. Casually. You're still seeing other people. I read. So, but she's married. She's locked down.
yeah. So your sister and I are totally going to get along. But yoga had to be, I'm such a performative person, so it had to be a place I could put that down. So I remember finding a studio in Santa Monica that had this infrared heat, so it was very dry, no mirrors, and excellent teachers, and the lights were very, very dark. And I just remember feeling like my body could cry when my eyes couldn't.
Yep.
And it's it for me. It's like a wild love affair. So
I'm gonna put you in touch with her, because and because you're fit enough too. She's a maniac. She's like, it's like a boot camp, like yoga. Oh, good. She's like, yeah, she's incredible. She a huge following and stuff now. Like she's really, really good, and does all the classes with all the students, and we'll do back to back. I'm like, she's a monster. And that way,
unbelievable, right? The two journeys that you guys have, and it just speaks to, this dream that you have.
yeah.
This thing that I kept seeing in my clinic, this thing about the soul presentation in a person, that no matter how many accolades, how much fame, how much money, that everything comes down to how spiritually fit you are. Because without that, it all falls apart, right? Like we could have all the sustenance in the world, all the accolades, all the external validation, but we can feel dead inside.
Yep. The materialistic stuff, like I just keep becoming, the more and more I get, the less I care. I'm just like, take it, give it. Like, I just give everything away all the time. And then, like, now I won't buy any more jewelry. I won't buy anything because it was all robbed from me. And I was like, yeah, I don't care. Not buying anymore. Not doing, like, I don't care. Because that is not what fulfills, like, your life. That's not what, like, makes you whole and makes you happy. Well, for most people, I think. But I think true happiness is finding that the spiritual grounding and centering and being true to yourself and finding yourself. I think that's powerful. Yeah.
What's your relationship with the word God?
I think God comes in it's different for many people. I think for me personally, I think God's within us. I think that we, like that, how we act, what we do, we are portraying. I mean, I was raised Catholic, by the way, so my mom will kill me. But I'm not religious anymore. I was shunned by my church and everything, getting pregnant at 15. And so I got turned off to religion at a very, very young age. But I found mostly recently, after my first husband passed, I kind of started becoming more spiritual. And then I would say within the past couple of years, as things started getting harder and harder, and I was like, something had to change, because I was dealing with this civil war within myself. Like, this is who I am, and this is what people want me to be, and I'm both. There's so many dimensions to me. Like, I've got tattoos all over me now. People are like, what is going on with you? I'm like, I had 30 of them when I started getting the big ones. People just didn't see them. And I just told you I love your tattoos too. I was like, I've always loved them. I've always had that side, but I'm also very responsible, and I'm a go-getter, and I work my butt off, but I do have this different side to me. So I'm like, if I just had to figure out how to just be centered and grounded enough to be comfortable with who I am, no matter what people are saying, because people love to talk. But just be myself, and I love myself. So
I love that and I love that you said it's within you.
thank you.
Because I told you guys, my experience with the voice inside my head, which was just this unrelenting inner critic, was running my life into the ground, making me so sad.
Yeah.
And wanting to anesthetize, and having a way to clear my shame in 12-step program allowed me to hear that intuitive voice, which I then called God. I was like, oh, so there is a piece of something very deep and loving and authentic and true and real and honest and kind that is within me, that is within all of us, that just gets covered up.
Right.
By our conditioning, by our upbringing, by all the traumas, right? By who the world wants us to be. And so if we are living a mindful life, we're going to try and clear away what's blocking that channel, so we can get reacquainted with it, right? And so what a beautiful idea that in this very non-denominational, non-religious way, like, maybe there's actually a piece of that within us, and how are we accessing that?
Right.
Hopefully
and my
every
ADHD
24 hours.
too, like that, because it's a common thing for people with ADHD. It's like you constantly replay over and over, like, everything that happened, everything you say, everything you do, and you're playing it back because you're used to being the weird one. Like, my facial expressions, I'm always like moving around, fidgety, like doing all these things. People are like, she's on drugs. I'm like, no, I'm just weird. Okay. Like, I just have this, like, they diagnosed me with like the legal maximum, like, dose, like, because I'm that ADD. Like, I'm just lucky I'm still able to control it to be successful. I mean, if they battle every single day, and then to get made fun of it and everything too, it's like, it's a condition, guys. Like, I mean, It's been hard to do that. And so I think slowing my brain down is very, very hard. I'm always thinking like 25,000 steps ahead and about different things at once. And I'm criticizing myself for everything. So to try to stop, I think the spiritual part of it was so monumental because I have to just sit and just try to be with myself, turn it off and be like, stop. Like, I know who I am, higher power. Like, this is like, and this is like, and it just slows me down where I feel grounded and I'm no longer critiquing myself. I'm not critiquing others. I'm not doing that. I'm just like, we're all human. We all make mistakes. We are all different. And that's a beautiful thing. But yeah.
I love it. So yes, and I have one final question, which is, if today were the last day, you were here, on this earth, and you couldn't take anything with you, there would be no Selling Sunset episodes that anybody could watch. There would be no book, Selling Sunshine.
Yeah.
Everything came with you. What would you want people to remember?
That I tried every day to live by treat others as you would want to be treated. I feel like that I was taught that when I was young, and I feel like the world could be a better place if everybody did that. It would stop a lot of things going on in the world. It would stop wars. It would stop hatred. It would stop like all kinds of stuff. And because no one wants to be treated poorly. No one wants someone to attack them. No one wants that. So if you just treat others as you would want to be treated,
Make a big difference. Amen. Please give it up for Mary Bonnet. Thank you so much for coming out.
thank you so much.